Welcome to the World Trade Webcast. I'm Greg Sandler, president of ThinkGlobal.com, the B2B marketplace for global trade leads. Each year, the federal government awards billions of dollars in small business contracts. It's both the lifeblood of hundreds of thousands of companies and a quagmire of red tape. One misstep can result in hefty fines, canceled contracts, or even jail time. This week on the World Trade Webcast, our guest is Stephen Koprince, author of The Small Business Guide to Government Contracts, How to Comply with the Key Rules and Regulations, and Avoid Terminated Agreements, Fines, or Worse, published by the American Management Association. Steve, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Greg. Looking forward to talking to you.
Steve's a partner with the law firm of Peatfish, Immel, Heeb, and Hurd, LLP. He's a small business and government contracts attorney whose practice is dedicated to helping small companies successfully navigate through the federal marketplace, as well as assisting large companies in forming compliant teaming and mentoring relationships with small contractors. Over the next 5 days, we're going to talk with Steve about some of the most important takeaways from his book. So Steve, I guess the first question is, what was the genesis of the book, and who is the book written for?
Well, Greg, the book came to mind because I work with a lot of small companies, small government contractors, and one thing that kept happening time after time was that companies, business owners would call me after a compliance problem had arisen and when it was really too late to solve it. And so this book was really designed, it's aimed at small government contractors, business owners, and others who work for those contractors. And the idea is to give them the information, the compliance information that they need, but not know they need, and not to call their attorney after the fact and find out that the information they need to know 6 months earlier.
Well, that makes total sense. Certainly helping small business owners be proactive, I think, is really important. So there's a lot of books out there on government contracting. What differentiates this book from some of the other books and manuals that a business owner might find on Amazon or elsewhere?
Well, I looked at the marketplace in depth before I sat down to write the book to make sure I wasn't duplicating somebody else's effort. But what I found is that most of the government contracting books that are out there focus on winning government contracts, how to bid successfully, write a successful proposal, and those are obviously important skills. You're not going to be a successful contractor if you don't win contracts. But I didn't see anything out there that focused, number one, on compliance issues, and number two, on compliance issues specifically directed at small business owners who have different rules and regulations that they often must follow as opposed to their large counterparts.
Excellent. And from the big picture, what would you consider the three most important suggestions or takeaways in the book for small business owners?
Well, there's so much in there, it's hard to pick just three, but I will say that the first three chapters focus on figuring out whether a business is actually small. It sounds simple, but it's not, in many cases, based on affiliation in the ostensible subcontractor rule. So I would certainly advise businesses to look at their size status. Depending on their socioeconomic status, the second thing that I would advise as a key takeaway is to make sure that any small contractor understands the rules and regulations of any socioeconomic program in which it may be participating or want to participate. That's a big compliance hurdle that I often see contractors fall short on. And I think the third main takeaway from the book, and if I could just limit it to three, would be figuring out what you need to do to be an ethical contractor. And it's more than just being a good, honest citizen. That, of course, is important. It's the foundation to any ethical behavior. But there are plenty of rules and regulations in the FAR and elsewhere that specify what it really means in the government contract setting to be ethical, including having a written ethics plan. And the book goes into detail on that as well.
Excellent, excellent. Terrific overview. And we'll have an opportunity over the next couple of days to discuss that in a bit more detail. So that's all the time we have for today's segment. We're going to take a short break, and please join us tomorrow for the second part of our interview with Steve. We're talking about his book, The Small Business Guide to Government Contracts. And for our latest schedule of upcoming Think Global webcasts, subscribe to us with any of the links below and bookmark this page. All of our previous episodes can be found online at thinkglobal.com/webcast. And thanks for watching.